This book is an absolute game changer. And the author I'm going to introduce you to has such a wonderful mission, one that I hope people will really pay attention to. When I think of kids and I think of my own childhood and people I've met in their childhoods and things that might have helped some people along the way if they had had the tools, the information, when we talk about bullying and other things that happen to kids. The name of the book is Billy the Bully from the Addy B 123 book collection. And, you can get it paperback, hardcover on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. The author is Sharon Linen-Fordham, and she's in our virtual green room. She joins us here on Author's Corner. Sharon, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me, Kate.
So
It's great
you
to be here.
you say, it's the book is basically dedicated to all who are or were victims of bullying. And there's bullying of all kinds of different forms of bullying. And some people get it worse than others, and they get it at home, and they get it at school, and they get it in all different areas of their life. And you and I had a great off-air conversation where we were talking about, can you imagine if you could reach children earlier and they were armed with the ways to deal with bullying and to be able to understand it and not put the blame on themselves, for example.
Absolutely. I totally agree with that. I believe that if we do address these issues early on, we can make a huge impact on the future of that child or future of society as a whole. Because what people fail to understand is if a child is being bullied or he is a bully at an early age, this child, if the situation is not addressed, this child will become a teenager who's a bully, an adult who's a bully. We face bullying throughout our entire lives. There's bullying not only in the schools, there's bullying in the workplace, there's bullying in law enforcement, there's bullying even in our government, Kate, because situations like this was not addressed early on. And it follows this individual all throughout their lives and wreak havoc onto society.
Oh, yeah, boy, so well said, so eloquently said. Tell
Thank
us
you.
about your road to the listeners to writing Billy the Bully. What sent you down this path from your own life and to doing what we just talked about?
Every topic in my series, particularly Billy the Bully, was inspired by my own life's experience as a child. I was bullied as a child, and I understand the long-term negative impact that this could have on your life. I've dealt with low self-esteem, had self-esteem issues, self-confidence issues. I understand the long-term negative impact. And in fact, as an adult, bullying from what I've experienced as a child and throughout my lifehood, it literally affects every decision I make now as an adult. So I want to help children understand and deal with these issues before it could take a toll on their lives like it did mine. As an adult now, I understand where these feelings derive from, and I understand how to deal with them. But a small child is not able to process this. They do not understand why they are having the feelings that they're having. So if we can reach them at an early age, create that environment where the child feels comfortable in speaking to you about what they're experiencing, whether that child is the bully, the aggressor, or the child that's on the receiving end. We have to create an environment to allow that child to be in, to come to us, be comfortable coming to us and speaking about the problems that they were having. That way it can be addressed and the healings can begin.
So tell us specifically about Billy and what happens to Billy the Bully.
Yes, in this story, of course, Addy, who's the main character in the story, she's being bullied by a classmate, of course, Billy. And like most children, Addie is afraid to tell her parents about it because she feels that it would make the situation worse. But of course, later in the story, Addie does confide in her mother, and her mother does explain to her that it is not her fault that she's being bullied, and that's sometimes people who bully others are only dealing and expressing um, emotions and actions that they're dealing with inside. They have their own problems that they're dealing with. In Billy the Bully, an unforeseen event occurs where Addie and her friend, it is revealed to them the real reason why Billy is actually behaving the way that he is. And in finding that out, Addie and her friends, they rally together to actually be there for Billy, to help him deal with the problems that he has. And what I want the takeaway to be from that story is for people to understand that sometimes bullies are victims too. And that is the message in the story.
Ah, yeah, and I think that often is overlooked because of naturally we're concerned about any children who are being bullied, but where
Yes,
does that behavior come from and what's happened to
absolutely.
them?
Absolutely. The knee jerk reaction in society is to actually blame the child who is the aggressor without understanding the why behind that. Why is that child behaving the way he or she is? And that is what we need to address, because if we can address that, we can really get a hold of this problem um, that's devastating society, and you'll see less suicide. I mean, there's so much that bullying causes in society, but if we can address that situation early on, that child who is acting out, that is where we need to start.
And in your book, the illustrations are just wonderful, where you
Thank you.
see everybody is represented in on the book cover, and
Yes,
you weave it in the story. And obviously that's purpose on purpose and well done because
absolutely.
that's the world that we live in. When
Yes.
kids get this book or somebody reads this book to them, because that would be super powerful too, what do you hope that the children come away with? And we're saying it really in the conversation.
Yes, absolutely. Understand. I want them to understand that it's not their fault. Whether you are the child on the receiving end of bullying and on if you are the aggressor, it is not your fault that you've fallen into situations that is beyond your control, and that there are people out there. It's okay to talk to a loving, responsible adult about your problems. You're no one's going to be upset with them. You can get the help that you need.
And so that's great message that children know that they can ask for help because, as you say, nobody, and you talk about Addie, not you don't tell the parents, you don't go home, you don't
Right.
say anything, you hold it inside, and then that leads to so many other things that we've talked about. So after this book and in the collection, what's next?
Actually, I'm working on my sixth book in the collection, and that one is entitled New Baby Attitude. Not attitude, but attitude. Addie as the main character in the story. In that particular story, she has a new sibling arrives in her family, and she's really having a lot of problems dealing with that. So that story will be able to help children deal and cope with a newcomer, if you will, in the story.
Ooh, I like that. For
Mhm.
you personally, Sharon, to write these stories and to use what happened in your childhood, is that cathartic? Does it make you feel good?
It absolutely does, Kate. Writing alone is cathartic for me, but purposeful writing even more so. What I love about my series is the multi action that it has. The multi role that it has. Not only do the children learn valuable information, but the books in my series always act as invaluable tools for parents, for teachers, counselors, and the like. And it allows them to initiate those difficult dialogues that we tend to face with society and kids, and helping them cope with whatever situations that they're facing.
Oh, and
So it is,
there's
yes, it is absolutely cathartic for me. I love it.
And there's so many, right? And there's so many futuristic things to deal with,
Yes,
including technology and how that
including
works.
some. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's great. Well, I can't wait to see what happens in the future. This is a great book. Pick this up for so many for gifts, people that you can give this to. I'd love to see this in schools. You can get it on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, wherever great books are sold. Billy the Bully from the Addy B 123 book collection. Sharon,
Yes,
thank you.
absolutely. Thank you, Kate. Thank you so much for having me on.
Visit us at www.greatwritersmedia.com. Email us at info@greatwritersmedia.com or call us at +1 877 556 04